All right, so that was the first part. What I'm going to do in the second part is that how do we draw the data? How do we chart the data? And then why? Because drawing the data is important. You want to see relationships. And then you can't see relationships with looking at the data only. But if you draw it, then you can see trends, you can see relationships, and stuff like that. All right? So how do we draw this one? To draw, two things that you need to keep in mind. First, what is your X values and what is your Y values? And that is important to understand with Pandas. Remember, a data frame, these are data frames. A data frame has what, if you remember? 3 parts. Index, rows, and columns. The index, in this case, is the one that's highlighted, is bold. So my product name is my index. And the values are, here's my values. So when you plot, your X values is always your index. Remember that. When you plot, your X value is always your index. All right? And your Y value is the column that you specify. All right? In this case, I have only 2 columns, index and sales. So my sales will be my value, and my product name will be my X value. Is that clear? So how do we draw? It depends on what you want to draw. There are different type of charts. If we use plot alone, for example, if I say data, sales data, right? Sales data, sales products, I think we called it, sales product, dot, and then I specify the column. What column do I want it to draw? Sales, right? And then I can say plot. If I do just that, this will draw a line chart. Okay? So I'm going to do it one step. So I'm going to say draw line chart. This might not be the best chart for this, but I just want to show you the different charts that we have. So this one will draw line chart. Now, if I run this, it takes a little bit of time, but wait for it. When it's finished, it will give you a message here. So it's taking a little bit of time. It's okay, building each, okay, so just wait for a minute. Let me pause recording while we're waiting. So now I got this message saying that it actually finished, but sometimes what you have to do, you need to run it again to see the result, okay? So now I got the result. Now, this one doesn't really show me proper value because it just show me, obviously this curve is going to be like that. Why? Because why would it be like this, the curve? Because we sorted the data from highest to lowest. So it really doesn't show you any good information. So how do I get better information? So I can do this like this. First, do you see this? Let me show you another thing. Do you see this? You can give it a title. How do you give a title to a particular graph? You can say, here you can say title equal products, sales per product. Okay, like that. And then you can do, when you run it again, you see the titles changed. Sales per product. Okay. Okay, so that we agreed that this is not not a good chart. What other charts do we have? And there's a lot of products here. So if I say, let's say if I say sales product dot count or dot shape, right? If I do this, it will show me how many records. So I have 18,000 or 1,850 product. I cannot put all this data on a chart. There's a lot of product that, you know, you try to put it on a chart like that, it's not gonna be good, right? So instead of that, you can focus on part of it, either the top or the bottom or somewhere in the middle, okay? So what you can do? You can do plot like this. I'm gonna copy this guy again. Command copy, Command V. And now I can specify, for example, sales top 10 selling products. All right. Top 10 selling products. Now I'm going to use another option, which is what type of chart I wanted to draw. So I can say kind equal bar chart. And now, instead of drawing everything in that column, before that, I can type in head. So for example, dot head, like that. And then I specify 10, 15, 20, whatever. But that is more manageable. So what are we doing here? This part will give you the top 10 selling products. That's your first result. Then those top 10 selling product, I'm gonna draw it. I'm gonna chart it, draw a graph for it. This is the graph that I'm gonna draw. The title of the graph is going to be top 10 selling products. The kind is going to be bar chart. Now, if I run it, you'll see looks better, right? So it says, here is my top chart. Here is so you can see the sales between this one and the rest of them is huge, right? So here we're talking close to 60,000. Here we're close to what? 30,000. So that's a big difference between this item and the rest. What kind of information does that tell you? Keep selling that product. So if you're selling a product a lot, what does that mean? What should you do in your store? Restock. That means that we have to make sure that you have this product available in your store all the time. So you want to make sure that you order ahead of time because this product is selling a lot. Yeah. Or maybe it could have been a sale on this item, or it could be other reason. But this kind of information, it helps the manager of the store to prepare better for sales. Okay. Is that clear? What about other type of chart? So this was what? Bar chart. If I take the same thing, command copy, and then I do command V, instead of bar, I'm going to say pie chart. And I run it again. So now it gave me pie chart. What is the difference between bar chart and pie charts or bar charts? The shape. What else? Usually, pie chart shows you percentages, portions of sales. So for example, from here, you can tell from this chart, looks like this guy is a lot bigger, has the majority of the sales in terms of percentages. All right. Is that clear? Yeah. So that's the power of group by charts. You can do a lot of stuff like that. I'll do one more example and then we'll stop. I want to know who are my top customers. Now, I've been doing it on sales. I'm going to do it on profit because profits and sales are not the same. You can be selling a lot of product, but you couldn't be making a lot of money. So I'm going to say, give me the customer that giving me, or they are contributing to the highest profit of the store. All right? How do I do that? We repeat the same steps. So I'm going to create customer data, right? And remember, we had a customer name and customer. Do we have customer name and ID or just customer name? Customer name. Do you see that? So I'm going to create portion of the data on what? Customer. So cust data equal what? Equal. Remember, it was originally called data. Dot lock. And then I'm going to say all rows, comma. I want to look at two columns, profits and sales. So I'm going to say here sales. And then comma what? Profits. Profit. Let me see the name of the column just to make sure we got it right. Here, there's profit. Okay. Just to make sure that reducing errors, right? All right. So that gives you the customer data. And then we run it. So I got my customer data. It has two columns. Because, oh, we need one more thing. We're missing one more thing. What is it? Customer name, right? Customer name. All right. So now I can do group by customer. So if I say sales or let's say group by let's say cust sales, profit, whatever, equal what? Equal cust data. And then I say, I'm going to say group by what? Now, sales, comma, profit. Sorry, that's right, customer name. And then what? I'm going to do some. Now, this is going to be different. Why is this different? I'm going to group by this, but how many columns I have in here? I have sales and profits. What will happen to sales and profit? It will add them up because they are numeric. Since they are numeric, it will add all numeric columns. So now if I run it, what we got here? Method, object not described. Cust data, a group by, group by this here. All right. So now what happens? If I do cust sales dot shape, let's see how many customers do we have. I have 793 customers for this store. If I want to look at the data, if I want to sort the data by top customers and least customers. What should we do? We sort the data. Let me show you what the data looks like now. We say cost sales dot head. Before we do that, watch. So it gave me the customer name and it gave me the sales for that customer and it gave me the profit for that customer. So in this case, yes, we are selling to this guy, but we are making no money. We're losing money on this guy. All right? Let's do this. Let's sort the data. Cost sales dot sort values. So sort underscore values. And then what do? We say, what are the columns that we're going to sort by? It's up to you. Do you want to sort by the profit or do you want to sort by sales? Right? So there's a difference. I just showed you, because if you sort by profit, you want to say which ones are making us more money. If you want to sort by sales, it shows you which customer is buying from us a lot. To a store, obviously you want to see who's making us more money. So the profits is more important. Yeah. So I'm going to say, I'm going to sort by profit. Comma, ascending equal false, comma, in place equal true. You got the idea? So now if I run it, profit dollar missing T. So now if I say cost sales dot head n, what do you see? You're saying Tamara is my highest customer in terms of profit. All right? Look at this example. This person is buying from us a lot, but their profit is less than somebody is buying from us less. So profit and sales not always related. Okay. All right. So now, if I want to draw, how do I draw this? How do I draw it? Same way. So how do we do it? We say, for example, cost sales. We want to use, now I can draw multiple things here. Let me show you. I can draw cost sales. The columns that I'm going to draw on is on sales, comma, profits. All right, and then I'm going to do plot. The type is what? Bar, because it'll show me better value. All right. Taban, you can add the title. But I don't want to draw all of them, because if you draw all of them, you'll have 700 and some records. So what I want to do, I'm going to say only head, and then I'm going to say 10, and we'll draw it. We got some error. Profit and sales are cost sales, profit, head. Let me check something here. So what we needed to do, you need to put bracket here, and then inside of it, the columns that you wanted to draw. So if we do this, you'll notice that it shows you the sales and then the profit. And the sales, I mean, usually it looks like there is a trend, but the trend here is a little bit, there's a little bit of a trend here, but the trend is that the sales, the profit obviously are related, not obviously, but in many cases related to, the profit is related to the sales. So now you can draw two things. You can see at the same time which customer is selling the highest and then how much profit in relative to the sales we are making. Is that clear? So you can use all these techniques to analyze data. And I only looked at only a few columns, but you can, from this data, you can answer a lot more. You can say which state is buying more, which is selling more, which state, which city is selling more, I said we took the customer, right? What period, which period we are selling highest? Maybe there were sale during that period and so forth. All right? So that should be enough for you to do your projects. All right? See you in the next, probably this would be my last video related to this. Yeah? You can do that from the graph, okay? From the point.